All right, what's up, y'all? Right now, through the wind noise, through the surrounding sounds, through the fluctuation in the sun going behind the clouds and coming back out. My name is Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. This is a video on our main side, okay? The main side of In the Image Clothing Company, where our slogan is allowing the body to work. Here's the thing, okay? This video's title is What is Hydration? Okay, what is hydration? I'm just going to discuss it. What the literal word of hydration means, okay? Allowing the body to work. Why are we a clothing company? Clothing is the only thing physically placed on our bodies, okay? Our bodies are physically placed on earth, but clothing's just a literal word. Anything placed onto something else is just clothing that thing with something else. The way that God clothes the fields with grass. Our body is being designed in the image of God, in the image of Jesus Christ. We are a clothing company for this reason. Anything placed onto the body, it's glasses, jewelry, hats, pants and tops and shoes, socks, undergarments, gloves, anything you put onto the body at all. Well, the body's designed by God to work, even through the wind noise, okay? But anything you place onto the body, if it's not working for the body the only way the body works, the body gets damaged, okay? Gravity has the same effect on our clothing that it has on our body. We've got this vertical pull to gravity and a horizontal surface to the earth, and this is a 90-degree angle, a right angle, a perpendicular angle. We talk about mathematics and physics and mechanics, things like this, you know, physics and mathematics within the human being, okay? The point is, there's only one way the human body could ever work. There's no way you can possibly train the human being to get it to do anything. We've got bones, just basically immovable sticks by themselves, only the shape and length that they are, and they only move where they connect to another bone, which is just another, what we could say as an immovable stick. The ends of the bones, only the shape and length that they are and how they mesh together. Yeah, just the whole bone, it only does what it does, all right? Our bones have to track in line, because if they're not, then we can wear the bones out. Well, really, man, I don't know how long this beeping is going to keep occurring. Wow. Just ironic, because I was standing here for like 15 minutes before I started filming this video, and I didn't hear that beeping until I started filming the video. Okay, there you go. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I'm just in a public place, but just the timing, it just is what it is. Here's the thing, okay? The bones have a thin layer of cartilage between each other, so they don't wear out. This cartilage is just cushioning, because we don't want bones directly to bones. They'll wear each other out. But if the bones aren't tracking just the only way the ends of them are shaped, they'll still just wear each other out. They'll wear out that cartilage or the cushioning between them, but then they'll wear each other out as well, just the bones of the body. So these bones are connected through ligaments with that little cushioning between them called cartilage. We've got muscles connecting to the bones through tendons, okay? The human body only pulls. Is a video here under In the Image Clothing Company's main side. We pull muscles together where they attach to bones through tendons. And we can close a hinge joint, but we have opposing muscles, and we pull muscles together to extend a hinge joint as well. We don't push as human beings, we just pull muscles to extend a hinge, okay? The human body only pulls. The muscles only contract. The muscle fibers fire with an electrical system sent from the brain. The muscles get closer together, only to work, okay? So, yeah, the human body is just mechanics. Another video here under In the Image Clothing Company's main side. The human body is just this mechanical machine that we've been given by God, placed onto this rock in space that is our earth that we've been given by God. And there's only one way this human body can do anything. Okay, it's just mechanics. There's just a neutral, a natural, and a normal synonyms within the human being's functioning position and working to the entire body, even through the airplane noise. Okay, there's only one way the human body could ever work. You can train your body to gain muscle mass, size of muscle, or musculature strength, but, you know, doing this through working out, once you stop working out, your body goes back to the human body's only normal. There's a normal resting heart rate, okay? The amount the heart pumps blood per minute. There's a normal respiratory rate, the amount the lungs breathe per minute. There's a normal amount of fat content versus muscle mass to just have a healthy balance in the body. There's a normal temperature to the body, 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Just about exactly, just about always, okay? And yeah, like exactly, okay? Yeah, or else the body's damaged. The thing is, there's only one way the human body could ever work. You can try to train it to get it to do something that's not just the only thing it does. And for a time, you can force your body to do something else, but then once you stop trying to force it to do something, it goes back to normal. Always, only, and ever. There's a normal to the human being. It's our resting state. It's like standing vertically on Earth, meshing with Earth's vertical gravity pull. We can lean left by pulling muscles to pull us left, only from the center, which is just standing vertically. We can pull muscles on the right to pull us right, only from the center, which is just standing vertically. We can pull muscles forward to lean us forward, only from the center, just standing vertically, meshing with Earth's vertical gravity pull. Or we can pull muscles on the rear of our bodies to pull us backward, okay? But only from the neutral, the natural, the normal, the resting state. Earth's vertical gravity pull. There's only one way the human body could ever work, okay? There's no opinion to it, but if we don't understand how the body works and the anatomy of the human body, how it's all made up, you know, what it's made up of is what I mean, you know, and how it functions, then we can be confused. Truth is truth. Truth is apart from all of us. Another name for God is the truth, the same yesterday, today, and forever. Truth never changes. Anything that was true at one point always is, and anything that is true always will be. Don't believe me. Evan Strong. Wow. The founder of In The Image Clothing Company. In The Image Clothing Company's team members, our information under In The Image Clothing Company, even any of our poodles. Dante here is my current standard poodle. He's in this video. Anyway, the point is, truth is truth. It doesn't matter who's saying anything. Things are only what they are. Before we got here as human beings, all the bodies before us were the same, and after we leave, they'll all be the same. As we say, every body has one, and every one has a body. There truly is a universal human design, designed in the image of God. So you can have a deformity, an amputation, a birth defect, a major surgery, anything like this, or maybe not like this at all, but that sets your body apart a little bit. You can only be set apart from something, which is the universal human design. So there's only one way the human body works, and there's no opinion to it. People have breakthroughs, so they think all the time that they do, but no. The human body has always been the exact same, and it always will be, okay? No opinion to it. Come back in thousands of years if you want, any amount of time, to our information under In The Image Clothing Company. As long as we're aligning what we're saying with the truth of God, there's no opinion to it. It'll never change either, okay? Truth is truth. So the truth is, there's a flight school just a few miles from where I'm standing. There's airplanes and helicopters that just, you know, go over the top of us, okay? So I'm gonna wait for just a little bit for this noise. We'll get to this, all right? It's a big video, as you can tell, if you can. Maybe you can't. Stick around and find out. If you want, it applies to you. Big time, okay? Airplanes, though, there's actually two of them right now that I can see. And this one's pretty loud, really. A lot of the times they're not quite this loud, the ones that fly overhead here. So, okay, we're gonna get to this, and we're gonna do it as we do it. Blunt, bold, raw, and real, In The Image Clothing Company style. It's just another date-marked documentation, okay? And in this case, it's on the 3rd of April, 2026, okay? Under In The Image Clothing Company's main side, one of our fourths, okay? So, that droning sound, though, of that airplane is still quite noisy. And the thing is, they loop overhead, too, because they just go right back to the same airport, you know, a lot of the time here, so. shoot. I'm gonna keep going though. It's just, it really truly is. I mean, I call it our insurance policy to the degree that it is, us just making videos and date marking them. It's just free public information that we post for everyone to see, okay? That applies to you because there is a universal human design. But it's also just to show congruency and the longevity of us doing what we do as in the Image Clothing Company, and they're still doing the same things we were doing since the founding, you know? So it's just about the documentation, even through the airplane noise. That's why it's just what it is, you know, in a case like a video, you know, in the case of a video like this one. Because it's still just droning loud sound. I mean, if an airplane's just flying straight overhead, it's not this much noise for this long. But they're just kind of looping a lot of the time right here, so. So that's what we're currently experiencing. But this video is going to be what it's going to be. I'm going to leave it like this because just to show, well, partially this, that it doesn't need to be any better than it is. We don't need to try to be any better than we are as human beings. We're only as good as we are. You can try to improve to be better than you are all you want, but you're only as good as you are always. All right? We're always only now. And right now, I'm watching this airplane just loop. Boy, is it too, man. It's coming back. When I said I was standing here for about 15 minutes before I started filming this, yeah, I was. You know, I was planning to just, well, planning, meaning the idea was to just come over here and just start filming right away. And I stood around for about 15 minutes, you know, talking and praying through things. And we had that beeping happen. Now the airplane that did loop is coming right back over my head here. I could film these videos anywhere. I could cut these parts out. I could restart the video. But what's the point of trying to be better than you are when you're not? That's the real challenge. It's just accepting that you are only who and what you are and as good as you are. Okay. Wow. It's just ironic, the timing. It is what it is, brother. If you know, you know, so if you don't, well, the gospel of Jesus Christ. Okay, let's talk about this. Hydration, okay? What is hydration? That's this video's title, in the Image Clothing Company's main side, the 3rd of April. 2026. Well, this body, it only does what it does, okay? Just the literal wording of every body. It's, yeah, the physicality wise. Blood, bone, and flesh makes up this human being. Ligaments, tendons, muscles, and bones are what is the structural ability to work of this mechanical machine of the human body. Now, clothing, if we've got oversized clothing, imbalances of any kind in clothing, so rotated seams in modern clothing design with robots stitching our clothing and rotating our seams as it happens, okay? When our bodies have their own rotations within our clothing that can't be altered by our clothing, getting our bodies stuck into a constant stuck rotation position. Collar seams. Seams in the collar of our top, when our collars just need to sit evenly around the circumference or the circular nature of our neck. We've got even opposing musculature from the center of our neck, which is our spine, and anything discrepant or different in the collar of our top doesn't allow our bodies to just evenly stand over Earth's vertical gravity pull, okay? Keeping collars centered, the importance of snug collars, 2 videos here. under In the Image Clothing Company's main side that are just big focuses in life about the collars of our tops, because there you go, the jaw is the shoulder. A video's title here under In the Image Clothing Company's main side. Watch this. Okay, the jaw is connected to the edge of the shoulders through tendons and musculature. The jaw is connected up to the crown of the head through, well, yeah, tendons and musculature. Okay, the jaw is connected down to some of these upper ribs here through tendons and musculature. Okay, so there's only one way the human body could ever work. We've got a center line to the human being meshing with Earth's vertical gravity pull. The sternum, the spine, the trachea, the nose, and our jaw. The jaw naturally stabilizing the entire body with this musculature that I was just discussing there. Okay, these things have to stay in the center line of the body. We've got ribs, bones, okay, from the center line of the body in the front at the sternum, wrapping around the body's lungs. These bones of the ribs connect into the rear of the body in the center line at the spine. Okay. The ribs are just protection for the lungs. So anyway, there's only one way the body could work. It's about gravity, it's about mechanics, and it's about, mathematical angles and, degrees of bends of hinges and levers and rotations in the body. There's no opinion to it. There's only one way the human body could ever work. Okay. It works activated as a whole. Everything in the body's there with its own individual role to play. If something in the body's not playing its function properly, something else can't try to compensate or make up for the role of something else that's not working, because they've got different functions that they play. Okay? We've got even mathematical opposing bends from the bottom to top of the human being to stay vertical on Earth's vertical gravity pull. Okay? The ankles bend backward, the knees bend forward, the hips bend backward, the low back bends forward, the mid back bends backward, and then the upper back, which is just the neck, the cervical spine, it bends forward. So this would have to be evenly opposing each other mathematically, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth up the body, just to stay vertical on Earth's vertical gravity pull. Okay. So anyway, clothing, it's the only thing physically placed on us. And so, yeah, we've got a lot of imbalances, zippers, buttons, pockets, anything at all, though. Okay, seems just anything different in clothing that's not how the body works. Well, the body will be damaged. Okay, ropes. What I mean is what we call shoelaces or drawstrings or anything like this tied on or around the body, one side over the other in a knot, or twisting the entire body. Okay, so our bodies get into chronic patterning, trying to work around these things physically placed on them, just the literal wording of clothing. Okay, In the Image Clothing Company, there you go. Why are we a clothing company? Just to allow the body to work. That's our slogan, allowing the body to work. The only reason we're a clothing company is because clothing is the only thing physically placed on our human flesh. Okay. Wow. Yeah, it's about the human body. It's about the anatomy. We discussed the anatomy of the body of the human being in depth here under In the Image Clothing Company's main side. We talk about standing, sitting, walking, eating, breathing, sleeping, hydration. Okay. Everything we talk about, though, everything we do in our lives, we're doing it in and through our clothing. And sometimes we're doing these videos just through a lot of noise, okay, surrounding sounds. Okay. Yeah. So there's only one way the human body could ever work. What does it mean to stay hydrated? Well, good question. Good question. What hydration is? What is hydration? I mean, I like to ask these questions. As the founder of In the Image Clothing Company, we've got videos titled things like this. What breathing really is? What really is neck pain? What yawning really is? But if we ask questions, we can first ask not even just how to stay hydrated, but what is hydration? That's what this video is, okay? Even apart from the human being, what is hydration? What is this word? What is it that is being hydrated, and how is this happening? How do we understand this? Because there's a lot of things out there that people don't understand. There's a video I filmed just a few days ago and placed here under the main site of In the Image Clothing Company. Yeah, me, Evan Strong, being the founder of In the Image Clothing Company, I titled it Anatomy Understanding versus Fitness Advice. We've got a lot of advice, but it doesn't matter if we don't understand how the body works. The body's always been the same. We're not going to have a breakthrough. Listen to this. This is truth. Matter cannot be created or destroyed. Everything's just made up of matter, stuff that's smaller than the things that we're seeing. You know, everything's made up of smaller things until you get down to the smallest thing, an atom, really. But yeah, our bodies are literally only what we have eaten. We can only eat natural things. The goal is natural. Under all four sides of In the Image Clothing Company, natural, neutral, and normal are synonyms within the functioning of the body, but there's no opinion to natural. With this universal law, all religion and beliefs aside, what's the truth? Okay, truly, yeah. Matter cannot be created or destroyed, and so we've only got the things on the earth that God put here. Our bodies eat the earth. Whether you're eating plants that grew from the earth or animals that ate plants that grew from the earth, the body of the human being is literally earth that we have eaten. That's how we've grown. And once we die, our bodies just decompose back to the earth. It's just what it is. Truth is truth, right? Don't believe me. That's how I can say that, because no matter who's saying anything, truth is always truth. Spoken or unspoken, truth is always truth. So before we try to even understand what hydration is, what is water? Okay, because, well, this is what hydration is hydration is the amount of water that's within something. The amount of water that something can house or hold or retain, that's hydration. And we'll get into it thoroughly in this video. I'm talking quite thoroughly. Okay, this is going to be a big video information-wise, okay, because I'm going to explain it so thoroughly you wouldn't have to possibly try to believe in anything. That's our goal under In the Image Clothing Company, is to discuss things so thoroughly that there couldn't possibly be a dispute to it, because truth is truth. It doesn't matter who's saying it. What is hydration? Well, it's the amount of water that's within something, okay? And we'll discuss it thoroughly, more thorough than just that simple explanation in this video, under In the Image Clothing Company's main side on the 3rd of March, plus one more month. It's the 3rd of April, 2026. But what is water? Well, water is what everything else is. It's just made up of smaller things, okay? Water is hydrogen and it's oxygen, okay? H2O. 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen on a molecular level, if you will, you know, on a really small scale is what I'm saying. I'm not like somebody who deals with that kind of stuff all that much, okay? The periodic table and the elements, only to the degree that I need to understand what life is and how to explain these things under In the Image Clothing Company, and, you know, only to the degree that would matter for my own personal situation. I don't know this stuff the way that somebody who's a professional in elements does, okay? But you only need to know it to the degree that you need to know it to know what's happening. Let me explain this. Water is just those two things. It's hydrogen and oxygen combined. Now you have a water molecule. And now you've got a lot of little water molecules that make up a water drop, okay? A droplet of water, if you will. And then you've got a lot of droplets of water that make up a larger amount of water, and this is just water, okay? On a very, very small level, as small as you can get and still be water, you've got hydrogen connecting to oxygen. Water. There's nothing the body can do with that besides use it for function. What I mean is, when we eat food, our bodies take things from the food and extract nutrients and energy that we label as calories. And the body can utilize food by taking things from food. The body can't take anything from water. The body just uses water for functioning. Water, in the body of the human being, it makes up a big portion of the body, like 70%, if maybe give or take, of the body. A large portion of the body is just water, okay? The majority of the body of the human being is made up of water, okay? But what does this mean? Because what's the water doing for our bodies if our bodies aren't actually taking nutrients and energy from water? What's it doing in the body? Water in the body lubricates things. We've got mucus in the body that needs to be lubricated. We've got blood in the body that needs to be lubricated. We've got muscles in the body that need to have their motion and move. We've got the body being made up of all these little cells And these cells need to move and function with water, allowing all this to happen. The brain is made up of the vast majority of it just being water. The brain of the human beings, it's an electrical system, okay? What I'm saying is water is playing all these functions in the body that it's playing, but our bodies aren't taking things from the water. It's just using the water, okay? The human being, to allow it to work. Whoa, there you go. Allowing the body to work. In the Image Clothing Company's main side slogan here, okay? That's the point. Water allows the body to work. Okay, so here's the thing. What is hydration? Well, even through the airplane noise, hydration is the amount of water that's in something. So we can say it like this. If we have a vessel to hold water, if it's a cup, if it's a glass, if it's a bottle, if it's a bowl, if it's a gourd, right? Like a, vegetable that you hollow out the inside of, or a piece of clay that you form into something, or whatever it is. You've got some kind of vessel holding water. If this vessel is full of water, we could say this vessel is hydrated, okay? Hydration is water being within something. We've got dehydration, which is water coming out of something, okay? At its baseline, the literal wording of these things, let's really give this a thorough explanation. If you've got something full of water, okay, and you poke a hole in the bottom of it, and the water starts draining out of this thing that was full of water or hydrated, as the water's draining out, this thing is being dehydrated. Now we can plug the hole and we can rehydrate this thing by adding water back into it. And now it's hydrated again. Hydration is the midpoint between hydrating something and dehydrating, okay? We rehydrate it and it's hydrated, and then we dehydrate it and it doesn't have anything in it, okay? Putting water into something is rehydrating it. Now it's hydrated. Having water come out of something is dehydrating it, and now it's not hydrated, okay? Introducing water, rehydration. Having the proper amount of water is being properly hydrated. Taking water away is dehydration. That's it. That's as simple as it is, seen in a lot of different ways. Look at this, okay? The earth, it's made up of dirt, okay, rocks. Small rocks is what we call dirt, okay? Sand, it's just small rocks. Clay, it's just small rocks. Fine little powdered dirt, it's just small rocks. These mountains, they're big rocks, right? Everything's just made up of a smaller version of itself, kind of, to a degree. Just meaning, yeah, matter. Everything's just matter. Everything is just made up of the same thing that everything else is, on a small level. Truly, okay? So what it means to have dirt be dirt is just the earth. The earth is all the minerals that the rock is of the ground here that I'm standing on. Whether it's dirt or sand or solid rock or anything in between any of this, it's just earth. Now we live on this water planet, Earth, okay? So you can take dirt and it can be dry. We can call this dehydrated dirt. There's no water in the dirt. The water has essentially been removed from the dirt. Maybe it was never there to begin with, but dirt is just dirt, even if there's no water in it. Now, if we add water to the dirt, we can say we're rehydrating the dirt. Now, the dirt will absorb and hold on to water. Now, that dirt is hydrated. We call it mud. Okay, it's that simple. It's the literal word of hydration. This is what it means. Hydrated dirt. If you're a gardener, someone who plants things, or a farmer, or someone who's got, crops like this you grow, you need hydrated soil. That's why they flood the fields with the irrigation, with water, to hydrate the soil. It's just the literal word of hydration. Regardless of what water is being housed within, that thing that the water's housed within is now hydrated, okay? So, dry dirt is dehydrated. You can add water to dry dirt. You're rehydrating the dirt. It gets full of water. We could say that's hydrated. Now it's mud. But as the sun evaporates the water out of the dirt, it dehydrates the ground. Now the ground's dry, okay? In a dry desert, we live in the state of Utah here, as in the Image Clothing Company. We'll be based in St. George, Utah, somewhere within the month of April here in 2026. Dante, my current standard poodle, and I, me being Evan Strong, the founder and leader for my entire lifetime of In the Image Clothing Company, will move down to St. George, Utah. But Utah here is a true desert, okay? So often it's very dry. The sun dehydrates the earth, taking the water out of it in a dry desert. The rain rehydrates the earth in a very wet place like a rainforest. Okay, hydrated versus dehydrated. Well, really it's rehydrating versus dehydrating. Hydration's in between. Okay, that's what hydration is. That's what it is, literally. And now here's the thing. Even through the airplane noise, I understand the sound. Personally, I get it. Because I'm actually standing here, okay, beneath these airplanes. I think this one actually might be coming over my head, though, again. It's pretty noisy, yeah. It's just another date marked documentation, the 3rd of April, 2026, on the main side of this, which is In the Image Clothing Company. Okay, I'm gonna wait for a little bit for this airplane sound as well. I said thoroughly. I'm gonna discuss this thoroughly. This is just the beginning of the discussion. I'm gonna discuss this thoroughly. What is hydration? Okay, because it only is what it is. Okay. Even through the wind, it only is what it is. And now this is what I mean, we've got all sorts of fitness advice or things about hydration advice. Well, just what does it mean? What does it mean to have water in the body? How does the body hold on to water? That's the only point. If you're planting a field with crops and they need water to be retained in the soil, what does it mean to have the water stay in the soil? All the advice out there that could maybe possibly be correct, what's the truth? What does it mean for something to hold on to water? How do we get that to happen? Because, yeah, just the wind noise, just the wind noise. There's an episode of In the Image Clothing Company podcast, one of our fourths under In the Image Clothing Company, where we have discussions on the gospel of Jesus Christ. But that's just the truth of all things. Meaning, you don't have to be religious or believe in anything, but we're all human beings. The same thing placed onto the same earth, designed by the same God. Things are always just what they are. They were before we got here, and they will be after we leave. Okay, every body who has one and everyone who has a body, generation after generation, all the human beings are the exact same, okay? The world changes that we place onto God's natural earth, but the earth doesn't change. Not really. I mean, naturally. We call them natural, though, disasters. Those things are natural anyway. Anyway, and a third. That was the third, though. So the point is, there's an episode of In the Image Clothing Company podcast titled The Wind Noise. And a lot of it's just metaphoric for people just kind of saying stuff about you, and it's just like the wind noise. You kind of disregard it because it's just there. Just let it be what it is, But sometimes it's pretty loud. I'll tell you what. Yeah. Just like this airplane that's flying overhead again. Sometimes it's pretty loud, But it is what it is. We're getting through this video. Okay, it's just gonna be how it is. I know it's not flowing all that consistently. It's about the information, because this is how this is. Hydration is just a literal word, okay? Meaning, even nothing to do with the human being, you hydrate soil to grow plants, okay? And this just happens even if human beings were never on the earth. The rains come and they hydrate the ground, and then the heat comes and it evaporates the water and dehydrates the ground. It's just truth. It's just what it is. You know, it's just something in something else. And so this is the thing. Let's look at the human being versus an apple, okay? Or other fruits. The human being versus a peach. The human being versus a watermelon, okay? The human body has skin, flesh, and bone. An apple has skin, flesh, and seeds. A peach has skin, flesh, and a pit. Okay, a watermelon, or whatever else we could possibly say, has skin or a rind, or the outside of it, a rind. Okay, flesh and seeds. It's just like the human being having skin, flesh, and bones. Okay, what is hydration? The 3rd of April, 2026, in the Image Clothing Company's main side. It's just like these fruits. Okay, the human being holds a certain amount of water within its flesh, and there's a natural amount. There's such thing as too much water in the body, and there's such thing as too little. Within a peach, the fruit, you've got the skin of the peach, and inside, in the flesh of the peach, there's a lot of water. But only the amount of water that's in there. Too much water in there, and it would come seeping out of the peach. Not enough water in there, and the peach would shrivel up. And then you've got the pit of the peach. Okay? Skin, flesh, pit. In a peach, the fruit, or in an apple, skin, flesh, and seeds. Okay, the fruit of an apple. In the human body, you've got skin, flesh, and bone. Under the skin, you've got water. In the flesh of the body, only the amount that's supposed to be in there. Too much, and it seeps out of the body through the holes in the skin called pores. Okay, the epidermis. It's the video's title, under In the Image Clothing Company's main side here, but it's the skin of the body. It's an actual organ. There's little holes in it where sweat, that we call perspiration, it comes out of the body. Water, to cool the body off, or just if there's an excessive amount of water in the body. If there's not enough water in the body will shrivel up, really, similar to how the peach would, or the apple would, shrivel up if there's not enough water content in it. But again, rehydrating, adding water to something, hydration, the proper amount of water, dehydration, taking water away from something, even through the airplane noise. Okay. Yeah. That's why I say it as I do, you know. Blunt, bold, raw, and real. Especially those last two here. You know, in the Image Clothing Company. But yeah, with the airplane noise, it's just kind of raw and real, you know? I mean, as if you're just here with us as I'm just discussing this information. The ravens making noise. The thing is, yeah, like we say, I mean, it's truth. Nothing to do with us. There's no breakthrough. There's no new information. There's no new anything except for new and really just meaning deeper understandings on the human being. There's no way we'll ever train it or get it to do anything. It's impossible. The bones just continue to be the shape and length that they are. The muscles continue to be the shape and length that they are, just connecting to the bones, only ever pulling and directly in line, as all the muscles do, okay, of the body. Anyway, hydration is just literal wording of water in something. That thing is now hydrated. You introduce the water, you're rehydrating it. You take the water away, you're dehydrating it. Just like these fruits, okay? That's how the human body works. It's the same thing. So there's just only a normal amount of water to the body, but how do we keep this there? Okay. That's the point. That's the question. What hydration is? Okay, this video's title. the 3rd of April, 2026, in the Image Clothing Company's main side. Well, the thing is, yeah, I mean, you can introduce all the water you want to the body and think you're hydrating your body. No, you're not. You're adding more water to your body, but it can only hold a certain amount. And so it'll have to come out if there's too much in there. That's just how it is. You can rehydrate your body only for it to dehydrate itself naturally, basically immediately. If there's too much water in the body, you know, and you're just putting more water into the body, it'll just keep taking more water out of itself because it'll get too much in there. It'll be damaging to the body. Too much water is very damaging to the body of the human being, okay? And so hydration, it's not about just adding water. That's not what it means. That's not what hydration is. Adding water to the body, that's rehydrating the body. But what does it mean for the body of the human being to be hydrated? Well, just to have the proper amount of water in there. So really, if we never urinated any water out, right? And we never sweat any water out through perspiration, these little holes in our skin called pores in the epidermis, the skin of the body. If we never breathed any air out, because we do, as we breathe out, there's air that's coming out of our bodies as well as, you know, the carbon dioxide we breathe out. Anyway, yeah, so shoot, there's only one way this happens. There's no approach, no opinion, no belief, no religion, no new information, no breakthrough, nothing we could take credit for under In the Image Clothing Company. There's only one way the human body could ever work. It's a body. It grew by itself. It blinks its own eyes. Its heart beats by itself. Its lungs breathe by themselves. The body heals itself when it gets cut. All the things we could say the body does by itself, God is orchestrating everything. The body's designed in the image of God. These things are happening. We couldn't possibly try to take credit for them without being delusional, truly. Trying to say that you're doing things like beating your heart. No, your heart's beating for you. Okay? The point is, we have no say over how the body works as a human being. We didn't design our bodies. They're a gift given to us by God. There's an episode of In the Image Clothing Company podcast titled The Only Thing That We Have, and it's our human bodies. That's it. Everything comes to you, which is essentially your human body, or everything leaves you, which is essentially your human body that is you in this physical life. You know, but once your body leaves, your physical life's over here in this state. That's it, okay? You only have your body, that's it. And it has to have water in it to play the functions that water plays in the body, even through the airplane noise. Yikes, man, the sounds. The body's made up of the majority of it just being water, truly, of the human being. Golly, the airplanes. Once we get down to St. George, Utah this month, Dante and I, okay, there's going to be a lot less of this. Because as far as I know, there's not a flight school in St. George, Utah currently. But there is right over here, just a few miles away from where I'm standing. And I'm standing just a mile and a half, give or take, from where I currently live. As the founder of In the Image Clothing Company is the point. So it'll be less quiet, airplane noise-wise, almost certainly, once we get down to St. George, Utah. So there you go. Some context, okay, going forth under In the Image Clothing Company. But here's the thing. Okay? Here's the thing. With the body being made up of mostly, which is shocking really, water, okay? The body of the human being is mostly water. All we need to do is have the proper amount of water remain in the body. That's what it means for the body to be hydrated. That's what hydration is the body just having the proper amount of water in it. That's it. That's as simple as it is. The answer to this video's question, what hydration is? The 3rd of April, 2026, in the Image Clothing Company's main side? Yeah. It's the body just having the proper amount of water in it that it needs. But we do urinate, and we do sweat where we do, and we do breathe out because there's two sides. You breathe in, and then you breathe back out. Okay, and so as you breathe out, water comes out. Any way we could lose water in the body, even if you got cut and you bleed, well, your blood is made up of water, okay? That's what's allowing the blood to flow through the body. Like I was saying earlier, the roles that water plays in the body, that's how the blood flows through the body's circulatory system. The veins and arteries and capillaries, the pathways that are just tubes in the body for the blood to flow through. The water is lubricating the blood. But if we were to get cut and bleed, we lose water. We're dehydrating our bodies, just the literal wording of taking water away from or out of something, dehydrating something. Yeah, that's happening when we bleed, if you do. So what I'm saying is, anytime we lose water, here comes the wind noise, we just need to replenish it. Anytime we have water come out of our bodies, this is our bodies being dehydrated from their normal level of hydration, or the normal amount of water the body has, the human body's only normal, if you will, okay? Which we discuss so often under In the Image Clothing Company, the normal to the human being and all the aspects of how there's a normal. There's a normal amount of water the body has to it, okay? But yeah, if anything comes out of the body, water-wise, that's just the water being dehydrated from the body. We need to then rehydrate the body just to get it back to its normal amount of water. If we never lost water from our bodies, though, we'd never have to put water back in. Staying hydrated really means just having the proper amount of water in your body. So if you never lost any water from your body, you'd never have to reintroduce more water to your body. To stay hydrated, to have the proper amount of hydration or amount or level of water percentage making up your human being. Okay. I mean, that's what hydration is. There's your answer to the video's title. What hydration is. In the Image Clothing Company's main site, the 3rd of April 2026. So this is what I mean. There's no opinion to how to stay hydrated. It's, well, you keep the proper amount of water in your body. But how does this happen? Now we need to know how this happens. Now we've understood what hydration is. I mean, I've given a very thorough explanation here of what hydration is. That's all it is. Just the proper amount of water in the body. Okay. But we need to know, even through the airplane noise, I love it. I love it, actually. It's so silly. It's so ridiculous. Now we need to know how the body holds on to water. Because what the body is just tubes. When it comes to the things like, you know, the circulatory system where the blood gets pumped through in the body, and the digestive system where the food and things we drink flow through the body. They're just tubes, okay? Wow. Honestly, I don't know if I've ever had quite this many airplanes in a single video under In the Image Clothing Company as of today's date, the 3rd of April 2026. I get it. I could film these videos anywhere. I understand. It is what it is. That's kind of the point. It's just that it is what it is. This is happening, and there you go. Truth is truth. See what I mean? There's reasons to it. Why we do things how we do here under In the Image Clothing Company. Okay. But that's a separate airplane from the one I was just talking about now. Okay. I couldn't make it up. The point is, it's not always this noisy, even in this exact location right here. Airplane wise, I mean, it's just what it is, brother. I'm gonna explain this though. Okay, I mean, we've already explained quite a bit of this, but we'll say at least a little bit more about this, okay, in this video. Because here's the thing. These tubes of the body, the digestive system, where we have water passing through, well, this is what happens. We put, excuse me, and then the wind as well. put water into the body, okay? We put water into the body, into the mouth. This is us reintroducing water to the body. This is us rehydrating the body to get the proper level or amount of hydration or water in the body, okay? We put this into our mouth, usually. But this is the other thing too, just for some context, what hydration is. Well, yeah, you can rehydrate your body through the veins. You can have a, you know, they call it like an IV. I don't know exactly what those letters stand for in this case, but you can poke a little needle into your veins, the pathway in your body where the blood flows through, and you can have a little hose or a tube that feeds water straight into your bloodstream to rehydrate your body without even going through your mouth. So this is what I mean. What hydration is, well, it's only what it is. Let's understand it, because any kind of advice out there on how to stay hydrated, it doesn't matter if it's not just the truth of how to stay hydrated. You need to know what hydration is, and then you need to know how to have it happen. You know, there's two sides to this, but also either side, there's only truth of how this works. There's no opinion to it. There's no approach to it. Well, meaning, besides how it works. Do you see what I mean? There's no breakthroughs besides how it works. How does the body stay hydrated? Well, that's kind of a separate question, but what is hydration? It's just the body holding on to water, and we have tubes in our bodies. That's what I'm saying. If we put water into our mouth, if we drink water, it's going just through our digestive system's tubes, okay? Down the esophagus and through the digestive tract, as they call it, you know, the intestines, and through all the organs it goes through until it goes into our bladder, which is where we store the water that our body's getting ready to dehydrate, if you will. There you go. I mean, the literal word of water being removed from something, that's urination, okay? Then we urinate water out. This is all just traveling through a tube, is the point. Multiple different tubes in the bodies, and the ways that it is, water just travels. But water can also just be absorbed into all the different cells of the body. Once we drink water, or like I'm saying, even if we rehydrate the body by going through the bloodstream in an IV, you know, into the actual veins or arteries of the body, right, into the bloodstream directly, you know, with sterile water. They call it saline solution. It's just, you know, sterilized water, basically water that's very safe to put it directly into the bloodstream. Yeah, no matter how we introduce water to the body, there's just a proper amount of water the body should have. That's what hydration is. Okay, so yikes. Yeah, this is, I mean, truth is truth. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter how it even happens. There's just a normal amount to the body's water content, okay? So yeah, that's what I'm saying, is the water is just then flowing through the body. And water just flows. You know, you look at these mountains behind me, if you're watching this video on In The Image Clothing Company's main site on the 3rd of April, 2026, what hydration is. These mountains behind me, they've got snow on them, okay? So the snow will melt and flow down the mountains through the rivers. Okay, you get to a low point at a pond or a lake, or go all the way to the ocean, okay? Yeah. Water flows, okay? Water just flows very smoothly. Water is, we could almost say, slippery, okay? And water will just flow. I mean, if it can find a pathway, water will break through rocks even, okay? Water will flow through the ground, and that's how these canyons get made. You know, these big canyons between the mountains, that's water that does that. And the wind, to the degree that it does, the wind blows through as well and breaks away at the mountain a little bit at a time. But as the water flows down the mountain in these rivers, it's taking little pieces of the mountain away, and it becomes a canyon, okay, over time. It takes a long time to do this because it happens, you know, just a little bit at a time. But the point is, water will just keep flowing. Water will break mountains apart. just because it's flowing over them or even through them, okay, through rock, literally. So what I'm saying is water just flows, and water will just keep flowing. It's always wanting to go from a higher place to a lower place on Earth's vertical gravity pole, and the human being stands vertically. We usually introduce water to our bodies in our mouth, and then it goes down our bodies with Earth's vertical gravity pull, and then we urinate it out at a lower point than we put it in, top to bottom, vertically on Earth's gravity. Okay, here comes another airplane. Wow. Okay. Yep, there's only one way the human body could ever work. This is what I mean, is things are only what they are. Truth is truth. The truth is, water is just water. My heavens. This airplane noise is ridiculous. The amount of it in this video. Seriously, it's ridiculous, okay? In the Image Clothing Company's main side, the 3rd of April, 2026, okay? What is hydration? Well, yeah, water is water, no matter where it is. Water up here on the mountainside, frozen, in the form of snow, is just water. Water flowing down the mountains and the river, it's just water. Water sitting in a lake or a pond or the ocean is just water. Water inside of a fruit is just water. Water inside of a vegetable is just water. If you cook a steak from a cow, like the meat, the flesh of a cow, and as you're cooking it on a grill, on a stove, over a fire, in an oven, steam comes up off the meat of the animal's flesh. This is water that was in the flesh of the animal. Just like if you squeeze an orange or a peach or an apple, water comes out of it. This is water that was within the flesh of the fruit, okay, or vegetable, even like a zucchini, cucumber, okay, anything, yeah, a pumpkin. Doesn't matter what it is. Water's water. That's the point. Is water within the human being isn't this like foreign concept of how to stay hydrated. Let's make all these so-called breakthroughs. It's water. No matter where it is on the earth, water within the human being is water in our flesh. The way that there's water in the flesh of the meat that you cook and it comes out in the form of steam, or there's water in the flesh of the fruits or the vegetables and you squeeze it and it comes out as you just, you know, drain it from it. Here comes the wind noise. I mean, it's ridiculous. What's happening here? The truth that's being spoken is really what's the big deal. Okay. It just doesn't matter where it is on the planet Earth. We live on this water planet. The Earth is made up of the vast majority of it being water. And then our bodies are only Earth. Truth is truth. I mean, there's no opinion. There's no approach to truth. There's just truth to life. You know, before there was ever even the ability to possibly have a religion, there was just truth. And after all the religions that could be, there's still truth. God, he's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Unchanging on either end of everything. Jesus the Christ, who we're designed in the image of. Here's your clothing company, our 5-word company name, In the Image Clothing Company. This is what I'm saying. We don't have an approach here, so don't believe us, because truth is truth. We don't always say everything exactly correct. We're imperfect human beings. Equals, okay, all of us. That's why we rely on a perfect God. God is. Always. Just what he is, who he is who he is. God is. He's the great I am. Water is water. It doesn't matter if water's in the snow, water's in the ice, water's in the atmosphere in the form of steam, okay, or clouds. Clouds are water. That's what you're seeing is water. Anyway, hydration is just something holding water. The amount of water that's being held within something. What is hydration? This video's title. In the Image Clothing Company's main side, the 3rd of April, 2026. That's what it is. It's just water in something and the amount that's there, okay? There's a normal amount of water in the body. We just don't want more water in the body than we need, and we don't want less water in the body than we need. And when I say we, I mean then the body actually physically needs to do what the body uses water for, which is just lubricating, is basically all the body uses water for. In all the ways we could say that. Just meaning, yeah, water just plays functions in the body. The body doesn't extract anything from water, as in literally what water is, hydrogen and oxygen. There's nothing the body takes from it. It just uses it. So it just needs it in it, but only the amount it needs. So how do we have this happen? What I'm saying is water just flows, and it's just slippery. So putting water into our mouth, it'll slip and slide, wow, truly, down and out our bodies, and we'll urinate it out, okay? So if we just let this happen, we'll have to keep putting water in because it keeps coming out, okay? It's just flowing right through our bodies. We just want water to stay in our bodies, really. Like I'm saying, if you never had any water come out of your body, you'd essentially, never have to put water back in to your body, I mean, seen with context, but yes, yeah, really. Okay, seen with context. Because the thing is, when we urinate, we're not just only urinating water out, but our bodies also flush out things that were in them with the water as we urinate. There's other reasons we urinate besides just plain water coming out, because that's not what's happening, or it wouldn't be called a urine. It would just be called water again. We put water in clear, and it comes out a different color often, because there's other things that are in the body that add here to the water we've put into our bodies and leave the body with the water, okay? So water holds on to other things, okay? Water, hydrogen and oxygen making up a water molecule. This water can hold on to something else. Adhesion, okay? It can adhere. The way that we've got adhesives, like tape, you tape something together and the tape adheres to something else. Sticky stuff, it adheres. Like honey. You put honey between your two fingers, or between your finger and your thumb. Thumb's not a finger, really, but you put, shoot, wow, In the Image Clothing Company. There is only one way the hands work. A video I filmed in St. George, Utah, in November of 2025. Me, Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. Anyway, you put honey between, let's say, your index and your thumb, okay, the finger and your thumb here, honey from bees, right? And it's sticky. Your finger sticks to your thumb. It adheres to your thumb. Glue, we glue things together. We adhere something to something else. This is water adhering to the things in our bodies. We drink plain water, and it grabs onto things in our bodies, and we urinate out not only the water, but things that the water takes out with it, okay? What is hydration? The 3rd of April, 2026, In the Image Clothing Company's main side. Even through all the surrounding sounds. Okay. Well, truth is truth. Hydration is just what it is. We have to understand how this happens to be able to have it happen. So the thing is, yeah, water holds on to other things. It adheres to other things. Water can hold on to itself. That's cohesion. The way that, human beings coincide with each other. Cohabitate. The same thing with the same thing. Water to water is cohesion. Water to something else is adhering. Something else gets added to water. Adhesion. Words only mean what they mean. That's why they exist. Ah, shoot. Truth is truth, okay? So hydration's only what it is the point. Oh, shoot. So water can adhere to the inside of the body, but only to the degree that it can. Water just wants to flow. It just wants to flow through the body and come right back out. Really. Really. I mean, that's the thing. And so, hydration, the answer to the video's title here. Oh, shoot. Yeah. What is hydration? Okay, the 3rd of April, 2026, In the Image Clothing Company's main side. The answer to the video's title, like I'm saying, is just the proper amount of water in the body. We rehydrate the body to its proper amount, and then we dehydrate the body and some comes out. We rehydrate the body to its proper amount. We dehydrate the body when some comes out. And then we rehydrate it again. Hydration's the in-between from rehydrating or dehydrating. Hydration's in the middle, okay? Just the amount of water the body needs in it. That's what hydration is. And so in order for us to keep water in the body, when water just wants to flow, we need to slow the water's flow down. Water connects to other things, adheres, okay? Things get added to water, adhesion of water molecules to something else. So if we drink just plain water, it'll just flow through our bodies easier than if we mix things into our water, okay? Picture this. Honey, we were just talking about it, from bees, right? Bees make honey. Let's say you got a container, okay? I love this so much. You put the container that was once empty. Man. All right, let's say you've got an empty container, okay? And in this empty container, you fill it all the way up with water. Now, if you take this container that was once, we could say dehydrated, an empty container with no water in it, and you rehydrate this container and fill it with water. Wow, this is how this really is. That's why it's hitting me so hard. This is as simple as hydration is, okay? What hydration is? The 3rd of April, 2026, in the Image Clothing Company's main site. Yeah. If you just have a container of water and you pour the water out, the water will just flow out easily. Water just wants to flow from a higher to a lower place on Earth's vertical gravity pole, okay? So you'll just pour a container out and the water will flow out easily, okay? Now if we take that container and we filled it halfway up with honey from a bee, okay, like bees, honey bees, and then you fill it the other halfway with water, and you mix this water and honey mixture together, now the honey will add here to the water, okay, and they'll combine. Now, if you try to pour this container of water out, it'll flow so much slower because the water had the honey to add here to. This is like, well, it's not like anything else besides what it is. In this case, that's not what I'm saying is what I mean. This is literally what's happening inside the body. The human being is this container of water. The human body is just what it is. It's just a tube system, really, the digestive system. But then within the whole body, it's just something that can house water, hold or contain water. It's something that can be hydrated, which is just literally saying something holding water is hydrated with water. Water is filling something that once didn't have it, okay, if it didn't, but the point is, yeah, you can dehydrate something or you can rehydrate something. In between, there's something to hold the water. That's something now being hydrated, okay? It's just truth. I mean, this is just all it is. It's as simple as it is. So what I'm saying is, if we have something connected to our waters, like they were connected, well, yes, to our waters molecules, to our water. All right. If our water has something to adhere to before we put it into our bodies, it'll flow through our bodies less quickly and we'll stay hydrated longer. Hydration isn't some foreign concept. Hydration is just water in something else. We need water in our bodies. Water wants to flow out of our bodies. How do we have it stay in there naturally just for a longer period of time than it would just flow through by itself? Well, mix things into our water before we drink it. You know, under In the Image Clothing Company, we talk about, I mean, even if it's just a little bit of juice from a fruit in your water, or like I'm saying here, I mean, this is a beautiful thing to use, and it's just a beautiful thing, honey from bees. You know, put a little bit of honey into your water, or even just you're eating something, drop a little bit of what you're eating into your water and mix it into your water. Right? I mean, what I'm saying is, if water, the actual molecules, the hydrogen and oxygen making up one individual water molecule, and then these individual water molecules come together to make a water drop or droplet, and then these water droplets come together to make a larger body of water. If just water has something else to hold on to, it'll pass through the body slower. And the point of hydration is just keeping water in the body for a natural amount of time, right? Because we do use water to flush things out of the body in the proper amount of time that it usually would happen, you know, through our urine, like I'm saying, because even that in itself is adhesion. Things in our bodies that don't need to be there anymore adhere to the water that we've rehydrated our bodies with. And then when our bodies dehydrate through urination and we just have water come out of our bodies, things that our bodies don't need in them anymore also adhere to the water molecules and come out when we urinate. Anyway, truth is truth. This is only what it is. It's not something that's hard to understand. We just need to understand it. And you just don't know what you don't know, and you can't be held accountable for what you don't know, but this is only what it is. That's what I'm saying. It's not something that's confusing. Hydration. Really, the point is, if we can slow the flow of water down in the body without altering the way the body can use the water we're rehydrating it with, then that's great. Then it stays in the body longer, and then we don't have to replenish or rehydrate water as often if we're not losing or dehydrating our bodies from water more often than is just needed to happen. That's it. I mean, it's that simple. It's that real. This is the truth of just, what is this stuff called in this case? Chemistry? Maybe? I don't know. I mean, like the periodic table. We're talking about elements. It's just what it is, though. All this stuff just happens. That's what I'm saying is truth, spoken or unspoken. These things are always just happening on this planet Earth before the human beings even got here. This happens in the bodies of the animals. It happens in just the dirt, like I'm saying. Rain comes down, hydrates the soil, and then the sun comes out and evaporates the water out and dehydrates the soil. Rehydration through rain, dehydration through evaporation. Before a human being was ever set foot onto this planet Earth. Truth is truth. It has nothing to do with us. That's what I mean. We'll never possibly have a breakthrough on the human being. Not really. Seen with proper context on what I'm really saying there. The body's only what it is. It grows for itself. It's only made up of matter that cannot be created or destroyed. And hydration is something that's apart from all of us. There's no opinion on it. It's truth. Every animal out there is either hydrated or dehydrated. Every plant out there is either hydrated or dehydrated. Every plot of land or area of earth or soil is either hydrated or dehydrated. It's just water content in something or not on this water planet Earth. It's not a foreign concept because we die without it. So it's truly not foreign to us. It's within our bodies. Anyway, the point is, this is what we do under In the Image Clothing Company. As we discuss things in such depth, you couldn't possibly dispute what we're saying. Because we're not trying to decide anything or come up with anything. We don't have any kind of breakthroughs, really, that we're ever going to be able to even possibly have as a human being on the body that we didn't design, other than understandings. But the point is, it's just what it is, no matter who understands it or not. So there you go. There's your explanation, as thorough as we would need it. We meaning human beings, not only we as In the Image Clothing Company, but there's your date marked documentation with quite a few airplanes flying through and the wind noise and the beeping from whatever that was doing that, and the automobiles driving by and all the things going on in this video. The information's been documented under our 5-word company name, In the Image Clothing Company. Okay, on the 3rd of April 2026, today's date. What is hydration? Well, there you go. That's what it is. No one's going to dispute that. The way I described it in this video, that's the point, is we just need to know what it is. So we'll talk about it more thoroughly. Well, I mean, I don't know about more thoroughly necessarily. That's not what I mean. What I mean is we'll just touch on this more as time goes on. That's really what I mean. Because that's what I said a few minutes ago or a minute ago, give or take. That's as thorough as we would need it as human beings to just understand what hydration is. But under In the Image Clothing Company, this is something we'll always talk about often, because that's the point. The only reason we're a clothing company, I said it earlier, but right, is to allow the body to work. Clothing's just the only thing physically placed on us. That's just the literal word clothing. That's what it means, is something physically placed onto us as a human being. If it's our bodies that are being clothed, that's just literal wording. So what I'm saying is, yeah, hydration is something we just have to have as a human being. We'll always discuss it where we do under In the Image Clothing Company. But there's your explanation on what it really is. All opinions aside, that's what that is. It doesn't matter if it's about a human being, if it's about the physical planet Earth itself, if it's about the animals on the planet Earth or the plants that grow on the planet Earth. Hydration is hydration. It's just what it is. And we've discussed it very thoroughly in this video. Date marked and documented under the gift, as I call it, of video. On the 3rd of April, 2026, under In the Image Clothing Company's main site. So there you go, right? So no question that could be had, really, you know, at least to have a pretty darn deep understanding of what hydration is after you've watched this video, if you've heard how I have explained it here. Wow, fun. No, it truly is. It's amazing, because I'm going to be doing this my entire lifetime, and then, you know, now this is a video we can always reference people back to, if you're willing to sit through the surrounding sounds. See what I mean? But it is what it is, okay? Truth is truth. And so, clothing. The thing is, it's just got to not be altering the body, because you'll urinate more if the physical musculature that's holding water into your bladder, wow, I think there's D's, not T's in that word, but bladder. Yeah, that's musculature that's holding water in, so it's not just flowing out. Like when we urinate, we can decide when we do that, because musculature doesn't allow the water to come out until we release that musculature. But the body just does what it does. You know, we've got opposing musculature traveling through the hip. We've got this crossing of musculature pulling up in the front and down in the rear to have a posterior rotation of the hips or the pelvis. Muscles pulling down in the front and up in the rear to have an anterior rotation of the pelvis. And there's just a neutral between those two. And this is just the body in all aspects of what it is, right? Man. Wow. Okay. So, what I'm saying is, the body's about a position, okay? The body's about a neutral position in everything. We discussed it quite a bit in this video toward the beginning, okay? In the Image Clothing Company's main site. What is hydration? The 3rd of April, 2026. But yeah, seriously, if the body's not in a position to properly be able to keep things like the muscles of the bladder contracted to hold liquid in, then you'll be urinating more frequently because you can't hold the water in your body. Okay. If your body's being overworked by trying to work around clothing, again, just the literal wording of anything physically placed onto your body is clothing your body with anything at all. So like I was saying earlier, oversized clothing, imbalances of any kind in clothing. Rotated seams, collar seams, buttons, zippers, pockets, shoelaces, drawstrings, heels under your shoes. I mean, it could be anything at all possibly, okay? Clothing just not working for your body. We've got joints of material of clothing meshing with joints of body parts, okay? Things like this, if you will, okay? Ropes, shoelaces, drawstrings, anything tied onto the body at all. If we're twisting the body or just not allowing the body to stay working, our bodies will be overworked. And now they'll just be excessively working. That's what overworked means, okay? They'll get too hot and we'll sweat, we'll perspirate, and we will dehydrate the body, which is just a literal word of removing water from something. Through sweat to try to cool down the body will just sweat, okay, perspirate. Water will come out of the holes in the skin called pores. The skin is the epidermis, is an organ, right? to cool the body down, this will happen, okay? Because like how you pour water onto yourself if it's really hot outside and you feel cooler, you know, and the wind as it blows across the water that's on your body, it can cool you off. It can actually take some of the heat from you. This is why our bodies perspirate or sweat, but this is our bodies dehydrating or removing water from themselves, okay? Just literal wording. That's all we're talking about is truth. Okay, wow. Fun stuff though, because yeah, I mean, this is just how it is. Yeah. So what I'm saying is if our bodies are overworked because they're just trying to work around the only thing physically placed on them, the literal word of clothing, that's not working for the body, the only way the body works, then they'll sweat or perspirate, and we're just being dehydrated in ways that we wouldn't need to if we don't alter our bodies by having our clothing not work for our bodies. And so then you're just trying to rehydrate your dehydrated body more often if you're urinating more often, or if you're sweating or perspirating more often, or if you're not breathing naturally and you're just exhaling an excessive amount of water. Okay, there's water content in the air that we breathe. There's water in the air. Okay, there's water in our bodies that we breathe out with the air that we breathe out. Okay, the carbon dioxide, but yeah, right. It's just an exchange of gases. We pull muscles to open a void space in the body, and a difference in pressure causes air to rush into the body. We don't suck air in. That's impossible. We open a void space, a cavity, and the difference in pressure of air in the atmosphere versus the pressure within inside of our lungs. Yeah, well, anyway, it changes, and the pressure goes from a higher state to a lower state, and air rushes into the body. That's how we breathe, by the way. Okay, this is really what we do under In The Image Clothing Company. Discuss things like this, okay? The anatomy of the human body. We give a lot of free modifications in clothing and modifying, if you will, the ways that we approach our lives to not alter our bodies, especially in this modern man-made world placed onto God's natural earth. The rounding to our hands, the rounding to our feet arches, our feet grip arches opposing the center line of the human being and keep us vertical on Earth's vertical gravity pull. We've got slippery flat flooring, we've got flat slippery things that we have as mankind that we've made, that we hold in our hands. Nature's always textured. So things like this, if the body's just being overworked, it'll sweat because it'll work hard and overheat, and then it'll try to cool itself down with sweat. I mean, you can sweat more in a colder temperature with your body being excessively overworked than you would sweat in a hot temperature with your body just being allowed to work. Truly, right? Allowing the body to work. In the Image Clothing Company's slogan here on our main side. There's a video, it's titled, yeah, anyway, I'm not going to reference anything else that yeah, we're done with this one. It's amazing. So there you go. Clothing, the only thing physically placed on us, we discuss it clearly. In the Image Clothing Company, poodles, we do the same thing we do here, but for all dogs, specializing in purebred standard poodles though. Okay, letting dogs stay natural. Okay. In the Image Clothing Company music, we show the sizing and setup of guitars to not alter the body. Rhythm and poetry, spoken word, lyricism, singing, guitar playing, geared around the gospel of Jesus Christ with the messages. We'll be in St. George, Utah. Come to poodle parade events if you want. Bring your poodles, purebred of any size or mixed poodles of any size. We'll get people into nature and dogs into nature. Come for the events and the reason we're doing them, not for In the Image Clothing Company's team. Okay, just to be clear. But yeah, you know, we'll do things for the environment of the beautiful planet Earth with our location focus always being the state of Utah here. I'm Utah native personally, as the founder of In the Image Clothing Company, me, Evan Strong. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints headquarters is here in the state of Utah. There's just such beautiful, diverse nature here in Utah. The dogs, you know, are a huge focus. Over on In the Image Clothing Company Poodles, that's a huge part of what we are and what we do. So there you go. Thank you. Goodbye.